A DataRay M2DU automated translation stage is a great way to add functionality to your profiling system. Have you ever needed to quantify m², divergence, pointing, or find the focus of your laser? This is a great way to do it. You can still do that in the DataRay software without an M2DU translation stage, but this way it's automatically controlled by the software, making the entire process very fast and very easy. In this video, we'll show you how to do some initial setup for the hardware, as well as a few starting tips for the software as well. And then in future videos, we'll go into exact workflows for m², divergence, pointing, as well as focus finding. When you order a DataRay stage, it'll come with several components, including a power supply, a USB cable, a lens mount, the actual stage, a profiler mount, and then you'll order your beam profiler separately. The first stage of setting up your stage is to attach the lens mount located here to the front of the stage. The M3 screws will thread directly into this side of the stage and attach to the lens mount. In some cases, the carriage may be too far to the left, obscuring the screws. In that case, you can always plug in the stage and use the knob on the back of the stage to manually move the carriage backwards. Now that we have the lens mount attached to the stage, we can now mount the profiler to the included red profiler mount. This mount will look different depending on your profiler, but today I'm using a WinCam-D LCM, so this is what the red mount looks like. You'll simply mount it there and use the included screw here. Now that our profiler is mounted to our red profiler mount, we can attach it to the carriage of the stage here. This attaches with two M3 screws. Now that our profiler is attached to our stage and our lens mount is installed, we can plug in the provided power supply and USB cable. Now that our power supply and USB cable is plugged in, we're ready to use it. In some cases, you may need an additional focusing lens, for example, with m² of a collimated beam. In that case, you can attach it to the m² lens mount here. It accepts SM1 threaded lens assemblies, such as this one located right here. Now that the hardware is all set up, make sure the USB cable from the profiler and the stage are plugged into your computer. Now you're ready to start the software. First, you want to run the profiler in the software. You can do so by clicking the green Ready button, the green Go button, or press G on your keyboard. You'll notice that the beam on my sensor is quite small. For some applications, especially something like m² where you're profiling a focused beam, you'll need to use a smaller capture block. You can set up a smaller capture block by going to Setup, Capture Setup Dialog, or by pressing Alt-S. In this new window, at the top left, you'll see an image, in this case, the full image from my profiler. On the right side, I can choose different resolutions to pick a smaller capture block. In this case, I'll pick 512 by 512. I can even drag and drop the capture block so it's centered on my beam. Once you're done, click OK. You'll need to restart the profiler. Again, you can do this with the green Ready button, the green Go button, or by pressing G on your keyboard. And now you'll notice a much more close-up image of your beam because we're using less of the sensor. The last step before you use your M2DU automated stage is to check beam alignment. You can use the knob on the back of the stage to manually move the stage, and you can check in the software that the beam stays relatively centered. You want to make sure that the beam doesn't drift off the capture block. You also want to make sure that the beam doesn't overlap any of the corners of the system. In this case, you'll notice that my beam is fairly well centered, so that shows that alignment is good. At this point, you're ready to measure m², divergence, pointing, focal plane, anything else with your M2DU automated stage.